What's up guys, my name is Karina and today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my coming out story. Before we get into this video, don't forget to subscribe down below and hit the notification bell to see more of us. This is Influence. Alright, so for those of you who don't already know, yes, I am a lesbian and I'm proud to be part of the LGBT community, although it hasn't always been this way. The reason why I decided to come out in the first place was because I had started to have feelings for this one girl in my middle school. And this was in 6th grade. Like I had a small crush on her at the beginning, and this was just 6th grade. But then towards 7th grade, I think my feelings were just like really starting to like hit me, that I didn't just like have a little crush on her, but that I could possibly like be in love with her. And I think the reason why I started to have more feelings for her was because she was just so sweet, so caring, so loving, so supportive to me all the time. She was like my best friend at the time. And so that summer before 8th grade, I was determined. I said, you know what, I gotta tell my friends that I'm gay, and at all costs. Like, in fact, the first person that shows up between my friends, I'm gonna tell them. Like, I'm gonna tell them straight up, I'm gay. So I remember that day, I had arrived earlier because I wanted time, just in case I had to like explain to them, like, whoa, why didn't you tell me, or you know, something like that. And so the first person to come up to me was one of my friends, who I'm gonna have to change the name to because I don't want to expose any of you guys out there. So the first person that came up to me was Cammy, and she was like, hey Karina, how's it going, what's up, like, you know, how was your summer? And then I said, well, you know, it was great, yada yada yada, but there's something that I have to tell you. And she's like, well, what do you have to tell me? And she's like, why do you look so serious? And I was like, well, because it is serious. I have something very important to tell all of you guys. And just promise me that after I tell you this, that we're not gonna like break our friendship, or that if we do, you keep it a secret, because it's something that's gonna make me feel very vulnerable. And so she said, yeah, like, oh, that's fine. And so I told her, okay, well, I'm gay. I just straight up said it, I'm gay. And that's when she was like, oh my god, Karina, like, are you serious? Like, she freaked. But it wasn't like in a bad way, it was just kind of like out of excitement. And I was just kind of like, whoa, like, what is this madness? Like, is this a dream? Like, has my anxiety of like telling people just like am I dreaming? And then she's like, oh, like, wow, I didn't know that. And I was like, well, yeah, I'm gay. But, like, please don't tell anybody. Like, I want to tell people, like, that I'm gay amongst just, like, our little group of friends. And so she was like, yeah, sure. And next thing I know, she calls my other friend, hey, come here, like, Karina needs to tell us something. And so my friend, Jamie, she comes over and she's like, what's up? Like, what's going on? What's the fuzz about? She's like, well, Karina's gay. And I was just like, I just told you, like, that I didn't want to tell anybody, that I wanted to be the one to tell people that I was gay. And, like, I was just like, oh shit, like, I hope she doesn't, like, tell the whole world, because this is just so scary to me. And so she's just like, wait, what? She's like, wait, what do you mean? Like, are you really gay, Karina? Like, what? She was just kind of like, what? I cannot believe this. And then she was like, how did you come to that conclusion and stuff? And then I told her, well, I've always known I was different. It's just, I didn't want to tell people, like, right away, you know? And I'm sure of it. She's like, well, I thought you were just, like, really sporty and stuff, because, like, you're so into basketball that you just always dressed up really sporty. But I mean, I guess that like explains everything. And so my other friends come over. Here comes Rachel, you know. And so as she was approaching, I felt very, very nervous. Like I felt like I couldn't talk, like I had a cork in my throat, and my hands were getting like super clammy, and I started to sweat. I didn't even know that was possible just by standing there. And I'm like, oh wait, no, like I don't want to tell her. Like I just panicked, like I don't want her to know. And my friends are like, but why not, Karina? And I'm like, quiet, like silence. And they're like, oh my god, Karina, do you have a crush on Rachel? And I just kept quiet, like just with my head down. And they're like, you do, don't you? Oh my god. I literally like wanted to shit my pants. They just made so much noise that when she came over, she's like, oh, what's going on? Like, what's the big fuzz about and stuff? And so she comes over and nobody tells her, and I'm like super glad. But moving forward, eventually she catches on and she realizes that there's something that she's being excluded from, and that it has to do with me. And so she approaches me and tells me, why have you been so distant with me? Like, is there something that you're not telling me? And I'm just like, oh god, she knows. Oh god, like, oh god. Holy shit. Like, I hope she just knows that maybe the situation has to do with me being gay. And I'm just like thinking, freaking Cammy, I feel like you probably told her. And I'm just like making like scenes in my head, like something's about to go down. And so she's like, so what's going on? Like, can you tell me, like, as your best friend, can you tell me what's going on? Yeah, just like, okay. So I pull her over and I take her off to like a spot where everything's quiet and I can talk to her without any interruptions. And so I sit down with her face to face, and oh my god, I just like even just thinking about it, like right now, I just got like this flow of energy through my body, and like I didn't even know if I was gonna be able to like speak and say something. She's like, so tell me what's going on. And I'm like, well, I didn't want to tell you this, but not because like I don't trust you or anything. It's just a hard subject for me to talk about. And so I tell her, I'm gay, Rachel. I'm gay. And I'm just like, oh god, like I finally told her. It's out of the blue, it's out of the way, like this is good, we're getting somewhere. And so she's like, oh, so that's what this was all about. Like I thought it was like, I don't know, I just was making shit up in my head, I guess. Like she didn't say shit, but you know, I guess I was just like making stuff up in my head. Like I thought you didn't like me. She's like, oh well, no worries, like that's fine, like I don't judge you, like I'm not judging you, like that's okay. I mean, I accept you for who you are. And I was just like, whoa, like okay, at this time, like the love of my life is like telling me like that everything's fine, that everything's gonna be okay. And so that made me feel like super great, like to a point though, to a point, because I was keeping a secret from her, and that was that, you know, I was deeply in love with her. And well, you know, middle school. And so moving forward, she still doesn't know, she just knows that I'm gay. And on Valentine's Day, she said, for Valentine's we had this thing where we would buy roses for like a crush of ours. And so I was like, well, I got $5 in my pocket. And so I go and order 5 roses, and I put them as a secret admirer, and they were all for Rachel. And so she gets them, and she's all excited. She's like, I got 5 roses, and most people don't even get any, or to the most 1. And so she's all like showing it off that she got 5 roses. And I'm just like in the back, like sitting in the back, like, yeah, that was me. Like I sent you those roses, you know? And so she's all like, but who could it be? Like, none of these people like wrote their name down, and like some people would write their names like from who it was. So these were all from like secret admirers, and so I was very happy that that was me, but I couldn't tell her that that was me. So moving forward, my friends, our group of friends, some of them start teasing her about it. It's kind of like, ooh, Rachel, like who could these be from? And they knew who it was from. I mean, they're like, it was probably Karina, like it was probably her. And so obviously they were right, but they were still not sure, because every time they asked me, I would deny that I had been the one that sent them to her. And so this whole time, Rachel goes on thinking that she has 5 secret admirers, until one day I decide that it's time to tell her how I'm feeling. And so I wrote her a letter telling her that I loved her and, you know, just exploding all my emotions for her in that card. So I tell one of my friends, can you give this to her, because I don't want to give it to her personally. And they're like, yeah, sure. And along with that card, it also had a stuffed animal. And that day changed everything. Everything. My friend goes and tells, you know, Rachel, this is from Karina. She wanted to give it to you. And I don't know what else she told her, because I wasn't there exactly. And a couple minutes later, my friend comes back from the same group of friends, and she says, I'm sorry, Karina, but Rachel wasn't very happy about, you know, your letter and your present. And I'm just like, oh, like I couldn't breathe. I was like in panic. I was like, what have I done? Like, have I ruined, like I just ruined everything between us. I can't believe this. I shouldn't have sent her this letter. I shouldn't have let her know. I should have just kept it to myself. Oh no, like what's gonna happen next? Like I can't afford to lose this friendship with her because I love her. So I break down and I start crying, like a little baby, and she just like grabs me. My friend just like grabs me and she hugs me, she comforts me, and she says, I'm sorry, I wish that things would have been different. I wish that I kind of was rooting for you guys as a couple, because I thought you guys would have made a really, really cute couple. So I'm crying and crying and crying. Just a whole bunch of snot coming out of my nose, you know? And I'm like, but what happened? Like, where's the president? Like, where did it go? Like, and then she was like, well, she didn't take it. She just left it there. So that was like a stab in my heart, and I was just like, oh, like this hurt so much. Like, that was my first like real heartbreak ever, and it hurt so much. And so I'm like, well, but where is the present? I want it. I need it back, and I'm just crying. Yeah, you know. And so she's like, it's over there. I just felt like I shouldn't have brought it back because I didn't want you to feel worse. And I'm like, but I feel worse. I feel worse. Like, where's the present? And so she walks me over to where she left the present. And my other friend, Laura, she's also there. And she's like, so Karina, I just found out. I didn't know you were gay, but I'm sorry to hear this, what's going on with Rachel and stuff. And she's like, but you know what, if she doesn't want it, it's okay, like, I'll keep it, I'll have it, I'll be your lover. And I was just like, she was trying to cheer me up at the moment, but I was just kind of like, this isn't the time. And so I start crying even more and sobbing, and I grabbed the little bear, and like, I was so angry at the same time, I grab it and I just throw it on the floor. And then I pick it up and I'm like, yeah, and grab onto it, and I walk back with the present, take my bag, and the card was also left there. It was just open and it was left there. And so for the rest of the day, I'm crying like a little baby. I cried for days. It wasn't the easiest thing to go through. And for the next couple of days at school, we couldn't even like see each other, couldn't talk to each other. There was no communication between us, and it was really hurtful, like not being able to talk to like the one person that you would think would like be there, or at least like try and tell you like that maybe they're not interested in you in that way. It was just kind of like a stab. It was just really hurtful. I just could not believe that the one person that I, had put my heart out there for as a friend, not like a lover, but also as a friend, had just like destroyed it, had just grabbed my heart and stepped on it. So this was difficult for me because she didn't reciprocate the same feelings that I had for her, and this was a moment in my life that marked me forever. This is when I realized that being different, a lesbian, was going to be a challenge for me for the rest of my life. And I know that this sounds kind of bitter, but it's actually the truth. I am now 23 years old, and I still have to come out to a lot of people, and it's taken me a very long time to accept myself for who I am. And I mean, I was only 12 years old at the time when this happened to me, and now I'm 23 years old, so it's been a while, and I've learned throughout time that it does get better. You will find a partner eventually, and life will be easier. You'll learn to love yourself like I have, and there's more to my coming out story. This is just the first one that ever happened to me, that I ever had to go through. But I've had so many more. So many times that I had to come out to someone, and it was not the easiest thing. And that's something that as you get older, is not going to change. The fact that when you come out to someone, it's not going to be the easiest thing to do. So, keep watching more of my videos. I will have more of those videos up pretty soon. And I hope that you guys enjoyed my coming out story. Peace.